Welcome to the How I Met Your Mother podcast for the episode entitled Blitzgiving. This is the 10th episode of the 6th season and the 122nd episode of the series. Joining us today is Craig Thomas, co-creator and executive producer, Theresa Mulligan Rosenthal, co-executive producer and writer of the episode, and Matt Blitz, writer's production assistant and the inspiration for this episode. My name is Alec Lebb. Welcome to you all. Craig, since we're about mid-season, why don't you tell us where we are in the season right now?
Yeah, by the time Blitzgiving airs, which hopefully you watched it and it has, we're at kind of an interesting point where Ted has met this woman, Zoe, had an initial crush on her, and then realized that she was the leader of a protest group protesting the building that he's building for Goliath National Bank. And then on top of that, realizing that she's married to a very, very rich socialite. She's a rich socialite. She's married to just a very rich, weird dude played by Kyle MacLachlan. And so there's sort of a complicated relationship between the two of them, and they're enemies as we meet them at the beginning of Blitzgiving. And this is sort of the story of how they become friends, among other things. And yeah, it's very interesting to start off that arc of Ted and Zoe are friends, and she's married, and he kind of had feelings for her a little bit at one point, and it's a lot of intriguing stuff we're getting to. So it's been fun to write.
Yeah.
So last time we talked was at the beginning of the season, and you had said that you and Carter during the summer had come up with again a basic arc for the year, a plan. Are you where you thought you would be? Did new things come up to surprise you?
I feel like we've derailed horribly. I feel like it's just disintegrating. I don't know who the characters are anymore. I don't like the show. No, I feel like we're very much on track. I feel like we're doing more of an arc this year than the year before, and it feels good. It's actually sort of harder to come up with ahead of time. A lot of more work ahead of time, but then easier to write when you get up to these plot points that you know are going to happen. And it gets that this sounds like I'm just shilling desperately for the show, but we are really getting up to this middle point in the season where so much starts to happen and so many really interesting emotional arcs get started that give us so much material for these actors to play. I feel like it's a very kind of like juicy, interesting middle of the season that we're approaching, and starting with Blitzgiving. But we should talk about the process of breaking that story.
I want to ask
it was never ending.
It was.
Well, then yes, let's have
Yes, it was a long process. I think the elements were there from the start of what they wanted to accomplish. The showrunners and creators wanted to accomplish in this episode. So it was a matter of how to tell that story in a fun way. The previous Thanksgiving episodes have been so great and so fun. And you never want to do the hacky holiday, episode anyway, so you're avoiding that to begin with. So it was a big, we wanted to tell it in a cool way. And I think that's where that's kind of where the Blitz of it all came in and saved us in a fun way.
So tell us about Matt Blitz and what are you doing here?
I don't really know. I just show up every day. They don't kick me out.
Just for background for people who are listening, we stopped paying Matt Blitz about a season and a half ago. He just keeps showing up. We have no idea what he actually does.
There's Cheez-Its in the cabinet, so...
Yeah, He's the mascot.
We talked about that. You're not allowed to have it.
Blitz is really loved around the office, and we knew that Ted was going to miss a night of his friends hanging out with his enemy Zoe, and it was a really juicy way to get into telling this story. And
how did we come up with that? That was from somebody's real life.
Well, it was kind of like he was going to.
Like the idea of missing big things. Like I feel like we're all kind of telling stories where it was someone missed like a crazy college makeout party or something.
Yeah,
one of the writers
That's
is telling
right.
some story
Tammy missed actually co-workers having a big makeout party because she went to bed early.
Like in her 20s somewhere. Like just like that idea that there's always one person. There's always one person who leaves a little bit early.
Sometimes it's you, sometimes it's somebody else.
To be fair, not based on Matt Blitz.
No,
unless it is. Do you leave stuff early?
I've missed a lot of things in my life. To be honest.
So,
that's just a lucky coincidence.
We were just lucky, yeah. But yeah, it came off of like that, I think that story, the missing the makeout party. And So that became, we wanted to make that like a phenomenon. I think we had been mentioning Blitz a lot that day, Matt Blitz, the real. And
if you walk around this office, there's just constantly people just screaming Blitz all the time.
Yeah,
so it's kind of in the air.
So we named it the Blitz, the leaving early and to do something lame. And
now, how do you feel about that? That we named that? We made a verb of your name to mean leaving early to do something lame.
I mean,
does that feel good?
It's an honor. It's every boy's dream to be sitcom character and be part of that vernacular that exists in a sitcom. I'm serious. It's awesome.
That's awesome.
I don't mind.
Okay.
I've been made fun of my whole life.
So that's kind of like a verbal admission that you're not intending to sue us.
Right? Oh, no.
We can use that to hold up in court?
My father's a lawyer, but he's...
Wait a second. You never mentioned that.
He's okay with it. I've told him to lay back, maybe wait a couple years, see where I end up in my career.
He's a bit of a shyster, isn't he? Does he advertise on buses?
Yes, buses and park benches.
But yeah, so we didn't base that phenomenon on Blitz himself, but we love Blitz. We love he's Blitz. It's not the Himium office without Blitz. So we decided to memorialize him in this episode. But
it's also a great word.
Say,
it's a good
man?
comedy word.
Because we sort of feel like maybe sometimes we've heard you say "aw man," but then we're like, are we making that up? Or are we imagining? If you watch the episode, Jorge Garcia's kind of catchphrase in the episode is "aw man," because when he misses everything.
I've been saying it recently, but I don't know if it's because of that.
I feel like you started saying it after we wrote it.
Yeah, we put it in your mouth.
Might as well use my own catchphrase.
Yeah, reverse engineer the catchphrase. I love it.
So Jorge, when did Jorge Garcia come into the picture?
I think that was our casting guy's idea, wasn't it? Or did
I
we
think
think
so.
Of it? I think of it. I think our Brett and Colin, our casting guys for the first half of the season, thought of it, and we were like, yeah, that's brilliant. And we actually had a really fun day where we learned we cast him, and then we sort of brought Blitz into the room, the writer's room, and we had up on the screen, we had all the screens off and the computer and the monitors. But we had up Jorge Garcia's picture, and we were going to turn all the monitors on and reveal to Matt Blitz, who was in fact going to be portraying him. And we had you guess a bunch of people, and you didn't.
What were some of the guesses? Adam Sandler?
I think Jason Biggs was one of them.
Oh yeah, these are good guesses.
Rob Schneider, which is Rob Schneider. I think those are the two ones I remember. Maybe
you guessed Adam Sandler.
I guess I'm Sandler.
Yeah. And by the way, Matt Blitz looks like a cross between Adam Sandler and Jason Biggs.
That's very nice. It's kind words.
Yes.
They're attractive men.
They are.
It just got real in here. But yeah, so and in a million years you wouldn't have guessed it, but you were thrilled and you were a fan of Lost. All of us, there's a lot of Lost dorks on the show, and we were so thrilled. But we kept the news a secret that Jorge Garcia would be portraying Blitz until a big moment of announcement.
Matt Blitz, what do you do around here?
I provide comfort to all the writers. That's what I like to. I'm a comfort specialist.
He is.
Boy, I met one of those in Thailand once.
And this is how we repay him.
What is a day in the life of Blitz? Take us through a quick.
Okay.
Take us through a quick montage.
I get up in the morning. I go to the grocery store. Pretty much every morning. I get assorted groceries, bagels, whatever.
Not your own.
Not for me. No. And then I get in, and then pretty much sometimes I write a Blitz pick of the day for the refrigerator, which is just a request list that I decided to spice up.
Yeah, and it's often like an ode to the grape or something.
Something like
When's
that.
the last time you had a grape? And like a fun fact about grapes.
And that's episode 22.
It's delightful. Fun facts about grapes.
And then I start doing lunch because I collect all the lunch orders from everyone. So we have a lunch schedule, and then I start giving out the lunch menus, and everyone turns them into me. I take everyone's lunch orders down, and then I fax it in and make sure we go to I guess we have 30 or 40 different lunch places we go in the area that we just switch off of every few weeks.
By the way, this makes the writers sound like big babies.
Yeah, and to be fair, and so Blitz gets us free food and takes care of us all day long. And how often would you say that people complain about things? Almost hourly?
I don't. Maybe every few minutes. It's okay.
I didn't want pizza today. Just whining. Just a bunch of whining.
I don't think it's complaints. It's more or less, they talk to me, which is important.
It took a year to establish that eye contact, and then by year 2 there was vocalization.
Exactly. Complaints can turn to prayers very quickly.
They can turn to forge bonds.
But this is why we love Blitz, because he gives us food, basically.
He does.
a way to
So,
anyone's heart
it's
is through
good.
their stomach.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I've learned.
God bless you, Blitz.
And then, lunch, and then coffee comes later.
And then from 4 to 5, he waves palm fronds to give us a breeze.
If anyone needs a foot massage, he comes in.
At the end of the day, it's the comfort hour. We won't talk about that.
Usually foot rubs and goes from there. A little oil.
Whatever, see what happens. See what happens.
Exotic oils.
All right, we'll bring it back together.
Let's just move on.
Just for one quick second. Now, what I noticed, in this episode we referenced Weird Al, Apocalypse Now, Field of Dreams, Ferris Bueller, John Madden, Tomb Raider, and Lost. Do you set out to decide this is going to be a reference-heavy episode? Is it just, or does it just sort of lose control at some
I think
point?
that's just our ever-growing ADD, that we just can't just have one idea and stick to it. That's just stuff making us laugh in the room. I don't feel like in the writing we consciously said, let's go crazy reference heavy in this one, did we?
No, we kind of got on the game thing for Blitz of the lame thing he went to go do, as he's a gamer. But other than that, I think it was just individual jokes adding up to a lot of references.
Yeah, when we did the blitzing out, whenever the person, or actually we did the transfer of the blitz, like you can sort of inherit this curse, it's contagious person to person. I think we referenced in the script Field of Dreams because of the Blitz whisper voice, but also it wasn't in the script. We referenced Buffy the Vampire Slayer because there was an episode called Hush where all the characters' voices got taken away and there was this visual thing of this white cloud coming out of their throats, their mouths as their voices got stolen, and so that was actually 2 references in one. So that one there's actually an additional reference that you didn't get to, but yeah, it was pretty. Boy, that's a hectic episode of television right there. But it's pretty entertaining.
There's a lot packed into this episode.
It's a lot packed in. There's not a dull moment.
2 of my favorite things this season so far is when someone sends you a picture of their wang back, it's a boomerang, and someone who's good at basting is a master baster. Just for my own sake, the history of those 2 jokes.
Those jokes, master baster was you, right?
I believe. If you're referencing the joke part of it.
We got that off your masturbating, right?
Craig's always masturbating around the office. I think that was me. And then the Boomerang one, I was some sort of weird tag team. I think it was Tammy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was It was just that weird thing where it was kind of an alley-oop kind of thing where someone said, you sent a wang out and you got a wang back. And I do remember Tammy just standing up and walking out of the room to go do something else. And it's it's a boomerang and exiting. This awesome line. But it was damn, I wish I could ever leave a room that cool.
Yeah, it was a good exit line.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was it. I think Tammy slam dunked that on the way out of the room. It was pretty cool.
Craig, I know you have a Thanksgiving tradition related to television shows.
Yeah.
Maybe tell us about that, and has that influenced the importance of Thanksgiving episodes? Because we have had Belly Full of Turkey, Slapsgiving 2, and Blitzgiving.
I think we've nailed our Thanksgivings. I think we've nailed Thanksgiving episodes. Their holiday episodes are hard, and I think the bar got set very high when we did Slapsgiving in season 3. And it was God, we can't fuck up our Thanksgiving episodes. They have to be really good. I'd like to think that we've kept the bar high. But yeah, and it's funny, Alec is referencing the fact that every Thanksgiving, we sort of have this tradition, because we're out in LA and our families are back in New York, we don't tend to go back for Thanksgiving. And so we usually just have this expatriate Thanksgiving where we just have random people over who, Blitz, you're invited if you want to come. Though I'm assuming you'll leave early and something really cool will happen, which is why I'm inviting you. But yeah, we do the thing where we just all get together, an assortment of random people who have nothing better to do than come to our house and watch a giant Thanksgiving marathon of TV episodes.
Oh,
a marathon of Thanksgiving-themed TV episodes.
Oh, that's great.
And it started off just watching whatever random shows. I think it's ranged from, Alf episode. I remember Alf being in there at some point, to, Our Dramas, to, Family Ties, and, now we watched the How I Met Your Mother Thanksgiving episode every season, too. And I must admit, I sort of do think in the back of my head, it's got to be a good one, because we're gonna know watching it on Thanksgiving. And I think it does sort of raise the bar. And maybe that's part of why the story took so long
it was
to break.
A lot of pressure.
It really did take, weeks and weeks, and we had, several different versions.
We started second week of August. It was crazy. It's crazy. Yes, yeah.
That's so sad.
It's sad.
We did. We threw out an entire version of it, right?
Yeah.
An entire version of it that where the Blitz of it all was a much smaller ingredient, and it became kind of a whole other thing.
Yeah, and B stories.
B stories
went through
away.
like 3 or 4 B stories for other characters.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas writing. That was when I thought we had it.
That's
I
right.
made that in the toast, put that in the toast. We cracked it, and then it was like...
It was at least sort of there. Like,
it was
didn't
sort of
get
there.
dramatically changed.
No, there were just new act breaks and new B stories for it.
The truth is, we had Blitz as a smaller ingredient. This will make you happy, Matt Blitz. And we said, what are we doing? The Blitz is awesome. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Once we had Jorge Garcia and all that stuff, we're like, what are we doing?
We put up everything we liked, and that Blitz was the only thing up there or something.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, we're keeping that.
Yeah, we decided let's call that out and make it, the episode where the thing you remember is the Blitz of it all, and the other goal was just to get Ted and Zoe to be friends, which is not easy to do in one episode, to get people from enemies to friends, but I think we did it. So yeah, we threw out all these other ideas and said Blitz and make Ted and Zoe friends, and that's the episode, and just everything should serve that as much as it can.
Yeah.
Blitz, what did you feel in seeing the episode all cut together? Do you feel good? Did we do right by you?
Oh yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, the most important thing is it's funny. I mean, that's the most important thing, and it was great. And I'm my parents are very excited. I think they're inviting over friends to watch it. I'm not even going to be there. They're just always very excited. But yeah, it's going to be great. I'm going to be watching with my my girlfriend.
Nice.
And we're going to get some wings.
Great.
I like wings.
Nice.
See, why don't you ever get us wings here?
I'm sorry. We'll do tomorrow's lunch. Will be.
I just said it had been too long before we complained,
Wings would
so I
be
wanted to
good,
complain.
yeah.
Anyway. Thank God bless you, Blitz. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
thank you.
letting us use your name. Any other words of wisdom you want to leave us with?
Dream hard.
Nice.
Dream hard. There you have it.
All right. Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.
And that'll do it for this week's podcast. Remember to watch How I Met Your Mother on CBS Monday nights and every day in syndication. Check your local listings. Learn more and watch exclusive clips at cbs.com. Find us on Facebook on both the How I Met Your Mother page and the Robin Sparkles fan page. And follow us on Twitter at himyum_CBS, himyumprod, himyum_writers, and Bros Life. My name is Alec Lev, and thanks for listening.